some high-octane action, as the drivers take on the challenge of qualifying at Killarney International Raceway.
Strap in, folks, because we're in for a wild ride.
It looks like Ernest Heather is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Wayne Midden is on their outlap. Wayne Midden is looking relatively composed going through Castrol. This is where the mental game comes into play. Mark Guy is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
The adrenaline is pumping. JP Brand is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. JP Brand is driving through kink. You can feel the tension building. Dewald Lambert is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Carol, but I have a feeling Dewald Lambert is going to make it count.
It looks like Joni Geldenhuys is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. Richard Reschke is on their outlap.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Richard Reschke handles it.
This is where the mental game comes into play. JP Brand is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first.
Jacobus Basson is now up minus 0.49 in start-finish. Ernest Heather is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
Good question, Carol. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Mark Guy is nailing both. Mark Guy is looking relatively composed going through back straight. Mark Guy appears focused and prepared driving through start-finish.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Jacobus Besson is trying to find that extra performance.
Every driver needs something different, Carol. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
Jacobus Besson is driving through Stanek.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
Ernest Heather is looking relatively composed going through Malmesbury Straight.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
Jacobus Besson is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Jacobus Besson appears focused and prepared driving through Castrol.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
JP Brand is on their outlap. Ernest Heather will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
JP Brand is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Ernest Heather is trying to find that extra performance.
Good question, Carol. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
Ernest Heather is looking relatively composed going through Volkswagen.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
JP Brand is looking for ways to improve their consistency. JP Brand will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Dewald Lambert is trying to find that extra performance.
Well, Carol, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Dewald Lambert will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Jacobus Besson is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
They'll need to put together a perfect lap, hitting every apex and pushing the car to the limit without going over it.
It seems like Jacobus Besson is struggling, currently 0.65 off their best pace. A strong showing from Richard Reshka as they currently sit in fourth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Richard Reshka is not able to keep their pace consistent, so far they are 0.14 seconds down. Wayne Mitten has positioned themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
I completely agree, Carol. Wayne Mitten has positioned themselves impressively in 6th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Mark Guy has put in a great effort and currently holds 9th. With the session winding down, time is running out for them to unleash their full potential and improve their starting position. It's been a struggle for Meinhard Hosbrook in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 12th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. A solid performance from Wayne Mitten as they currently hold position 6. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
Couldn't agree more, Carol. Wayne Mitten has positioned themselves impressively in 6th. Now, they need to build on.
Wayne Mitten has some work to do as that 1:19.612 is only good enough for 6th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
It's a very still day here at Killarney International Raceway, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Carol, but I'm expecting some hard-fought battles on track today.
The second position belongs to JP Brand. In third place, we have Duald Lambert. We see Jacobus Basson sitting in the fourth spot. Richard Reshka is lining up fifth. The green light signals the beginning of an epic race. As the drivers jostle for position, it's all about keeping their cool under pressure.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
Having started in 5, Richard Reshka will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
It's always intense racing here at Killarney International Raceway. Hold on to your hats, folks.
Ernest Heather will be studying the nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage.
Like gladiators, they enter Carroll, but instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
The drivers will be jostling for the best position, Carroll. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
It's a solid performance from Dewald Lambert at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them. The gap between Ernest Heather and Dewald Lambert is getting smaller. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
This is a real test for Ernest Heather. They need to find some extra pace and hold off Dewald Lambert if they want to win this race.
Joni Geldenhuys appears to be trying to find a way round Amir Rylance. They can make a move on them in Savant.
It looks like they have the speed to make a move. I just hope they have the patience to do it cleanly.
Tough break for Joni Geldenhuys, who has just lost a position.
That's got to be frustrating. But Johnny Geldenhuys is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
The race is really heating up. Richard Reshka is hunting down Dewald Lambert with everything they've got.
It's a game of strategy now as Richard Reshke hunts down Dewald Lambert. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
That won't be ideal for Mark Guy. Ernest Heather could be on a charge here, Carl. They have just put in a quicker lap than Dewald Lambert.
As long as Ernest Heather can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Dewald Lambert is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Dewald Lambert is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Ernest Heather.
We got a close battle as Amir Rylance closes in on Wayne Midden. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. I don't think that's the fastest way around Killarney International Raceway. Amir Rylance has the pedal to the metal chasing Wayne Midden.
If they get too close, they might end up taking the paint off.
It's a battle out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. The pursuit is on. Richard Reshka is closing the gap on Dewald Lambert, determined to claim P3.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Richard Reschke needs to be careful not to overdo it.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss. Duald Lambert has just dropped the ball. Ernest Heather didn't waste any time taking advantage of that. Superb driving from Duald Lambert, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. No room for error here. Duald Lambert is breathing down the neck of JP Brand, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Duald Lambert gaining places and JP Brand losing them.
Absolutely. Duald Lambert is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. Oh, the pressure is on for Ernest Heather. Trapped between Richard Reschke 0.2 seconds away and JP Brand just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds, they must defend their position while seeking an opportunity to advance. Richard Reschke wants to get into Ernest Heather's slipstream. This is where the race gets really interesting. Jacobus Besson is closing in on Richard Reschke.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds. Can Jacobus Besson close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these three drivers. I can only hope the netcode keeps up with their fearlessness.
Spot on, Carol. This constant back and forth battle is keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. One small mistake could have severe consequences for any of these drivers.
The battle is on for Richard Reschke. They're sandwiched between two rivals, Jacobus Besson 0.2 seconds away and Ernest Heather 0.1 seconds ahead. It's a true test of their racecraft.
I couldn't agree more, Carol. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind provide valuable information for Richard Reschke. They need to assess the situation and use the gaps strategically to plan their moves.
It seems like Ernest Heather is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Stop the press. Things don't look to be going commentators' way, as already they are into the pits. This is a thrilling battle as Ernest Heather edges closer to Richard Reschke in their fight for P2. A strong showing from Duald Lambert, who is currently first. Ernest Heather is giving it their all as they chase down Richard Reschke in P2.
The racing is getting tight between Ernest Heather and Richard Reschke as they battle for P2. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
It's looking good for Ernest Heather, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Richard Reschke.
Absolutely, Carol, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Ernest Heather can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Disappointing for Ernest Heather, they now find themselves in third.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Ernest Heather needs to stay calm and focused, and make their move when the time is right.
Things are heating up as Jacobus Besson tries to close the gap to Ernest Heather.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
It's a close race between Ernest Heather and Richard Reschke in second.
It's a battle of nerves now. Ernest Heather and Richard Reschke are both pushing hard, but need to avoid mistakes that might cost them time or positions.
Rian B is running 7th. They are trying to catch Amir Rylands. It's an intense battle for position as Ernest Heather tries to outmaneuver Richard Rushka. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Ernest Heather and Richard Reschke, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Big gains for Ernest Heather as they move up the field, leaving Richard Reschke behind. Heartbreak for Ernest Heather as they slip down the field.
Definitely, but Ernest Heather is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Oh, this is getting intense. Ernest Heather is just a few car lengths behind Richard Reschke.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
It looks like Amir Rylands is in control. They're ahead of Rian B by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon. It's a battle of wills out there, with Rian B trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Amir Rylands. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. Look at that, JP Brand is hot on the tail of Rian B. What a move, JP Brand. Breaking update. Oh dear, Rian B has had an incident. Things are going according to plan for Joni Geldenhuys, who is currently 8th. It's all about consistency for Dewald Lambert, who is currently 1st.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Dewald Lambert has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
The adrenaline is pumping as Ernest Heather gets within striking distance of Richard Reschke in their race for 2nd. Great driving from Ernest Heather, who has just gained a place and moved up to 2nd.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Oh dear, Ernest Heather has dropped down to 3rd.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Ernest Heather needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. Ernest Heather is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.76 seconds down. Hold on a moment. That won't be ideal for Jacobus Besson. Wow, it's all over. Dewald Lambert has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
What a display of skill and precision.
What a drive from Richard Reschke, securing a great 2nd place finish. Impressive drive from Wayne Midden to claim the final spot on the podium. Taking 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Ernest Heather, Amir Rylands, JP Brand, and Jacobus Besson. Joni Geldenhuys, Will.I.am, Rian B, and Mark Guy in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. International Raceway, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Carol.
Starting from the second position on the grid, we have will.i.am.
It's not always easy to get the ZAVW MK2 Group N this high up the starting grid.
Joni Geldenhuys will begin the race from the third spot on the starting grid,
putting that ZAVW MK2 Group N into prime position for the race.
Jacobus Basson will look to make a splash from the fourth position on the starting grid.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
And they're off, with drivers now facing the unpredictability of the opening lap. With so many cars close together, the risk of an early accident is real.
The drivers will need to be aggressive but also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Carl, but the best drivers know how to push the limits and make it work to their advantage.
It's never easy to drive that razor's edge between perfection and disaster.
It looks like Rian B was channeling a sloth at the start, losing
Safety
places
car.
as they crawled
Speed
off the
100
line.
kilometers per hour.
Seems like Rian B has gotten bogged down at the start, and has already lost positions, Carl. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one. The drivers are jockeying for position. Mark Guy will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Let's hope they can keep it clean.
Good news for will.i.am. The gap to Joni Geldenhuys has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
A setback for will.i.am, who has just been passed. will.i.am wants to close that gap with Rian B.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
The pressure is on, but these drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing.
No doubt about it, Carol. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying and the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
What a tight spot for Ernest Heather. They have JP Brand right on their tail 0.2 seconds away, and will.i.am just inches away with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a true test of their racecraft. Oh, things are getting intense for Ernest Heather. They're sandwiched between JP Brand and will.i.am, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.1 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.2 seconds away.
Absolutely, Carol. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like windows of opportunity for Ernest Heather. They need to assess the timing and make their moves wisely to maximize their chances.
This one's going to be tough. Amir Rylance is getting their elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Wayne Midden to make a move. This is a disaster for commentator in the ZA BMW 325 Group N coming into the pits and isn't going to do much to improve their chances in this race.
Certainly not where they want to be at this stage in the race. Fast for sure, Carol.
The delta between Ernest Heather in second and Joni Geldenhuys remains over a second, but Ernest Heather is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 4 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Joni Geldenhuys is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Ernest Heather in P2 doing everything they can to catch up.
It looks like Ernest Heather is making a move. The gap to Joni Geldenhuys is now down to 0.2 seconds. As they speed through Malmesbury Strait, Ernest Heather is relentlessly pursuing Joni Geldenhuys in a high-stakes battle for position.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Ernest Heather gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
Fantastic move from Ernest Heather, who has just gained a position. Coming into Stanek, the fight for third is heating up. Neither driver wants to be the first to blink. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Wayne Midden is breathing down the neck of Dewald Lambert, not giving them any room to relax.
The chase between Wayne Mitten and Dewald Lambert is like a high-speed game of tag only. The stakes are much higher.
Find some speed, or maybe get more consistent. Carl, they have just put in a slower. It's all over. Dewald Lambert has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
What a display of skill and precision.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Mark Guy, who is currently in P10. But Jacobus Basson is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Mark Guy. Joni Geldenhuys is on a mission, chasing Ernest Heather, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Every move counts now as Richard Reschke works to reel in Joni Geldenhuys and overtake for P2. Richard Reschke has just put in a faster lap than Joni Geldenhuys, so that's going to give them something to worry about. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Dewald Lambert in 6th and Wayne Midden. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.4 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Wayne Mitten to make up that gap, especially with Dewald Lambert defending so well.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Richard Reschke is right on the heels of Joni Geldenhuys, and we're in for a wild ride. A brilliant maneuver from Richard Reschke, who has just moved up the field. As a former racing driver, Carl, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Carol. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
This is getting exciting. Wayne Midden is looking for any gap that might open up the position. The race is really heating up. Joni Geldenhuys is hunting down Richard Reschke with everything they've got. will.i.am has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Mark Guy. The first expect their only hope at this point is that Mark Guy makes an error. A solid performance from Mark Guy, who is holding down 10th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
It looks like Jacobus Basson is pushing hard to catch up to JP Brand. That's not a small gap, but Jacobus Basson has what it takes to challenge for the position. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. JP Brand will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as JP Brand tries to reel in Wayne Mitten. But Wayne Mitten is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. JP Brand needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Wayne Mitten and move up the field.
Wayne Mitten is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
The action is non-stop as Amir Rylands shadows Rian B through every twist and turn, determined to claim fourth.
Should things go awry, Amir Rylands and Rian B might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
It's looking good for Ernest Heather, sitting in first. Richard Reshka is placed second at the moment.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Joni Geldenhuys in third chases after Richard Reshka. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Joni Geldenhuys needs to find a way to close the gap. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
If Rian B pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
And Rian B has just won the place from Amir Rylands. Oh my, Amir Rylands is hot on the tail of Rian B as they come into Malmesbury Straight. I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
This is what separates the good from the great, the ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
The gap between Doug Lambert and Wayne Mitten is razor thin as they vie for sixth in this nail-biting contest.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
An impressive showing from Doug Lambert, who has gained positions and left Wayne Mitten in the dust. The gap between Doug Lambert and Wayne Mitten is getting smaller.
This is what racing is all about, hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
Rian B seems to be putting the pressure on Amir Rylands.
And if you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Looking at the lap times, Rian B is not currently on pace with Amir Rylands. Maybe they'll get a chance to see where they can improve. Wow, Doug Lambert is really pushing hard to catch up to Wayne Mitten. There's blood in the water for sixth place.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
On the final lap now, and Ernest Heather looks like they might just wrap up this win. The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Ernest Heather. Impressive second place finish for Richard Reshka.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second place finish.
What a race from Joni Geldenhuys. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh is Amir Rylands, Wayne Midden, Rian B., and Dewald Lambert. JP Brand, Jacobus Besson, Mark Guy, and Will.i.am claim 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.